Hey there. So I've been tasked with creating a video devoted to why Giannis Antetokounmpo should stay with the Milwaukee Bucks for the foreseeable future. For those that don't know, Giannis Antetokounmpo, yes, that is his last name, is a small forward, power forward for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's a 25-year-old phenom. Um, so yeah, let's see what we can come up with. The first thing that comes to mind off my research was that he still has 1 year under contract. So he's guaranteed to play with the team through next year. And then from there, that's when it's up to him, his agent, and the front office to kind of work a deal together to keep him in a Bucks uniform for as long as possible. Ideally for the rest of his career, because he's that kind of iconic player that you want to have. Another reason that he could want to stay is that he has a solid core around him. Under contract for the next 3 to 4 years are Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe, who are both really good complementary players in their own right and can take control of the game when need to on their own. Another reason he would want to stay with the Bucks is they had the best record in the Eastern Conference this past year. So obviously they're a talented team. They're the upper echelon of their own conference. They're a team to fear in the NBA. They're missing that one thing that has pushed them into the NBA finals and to win a championship. Is one thing that they haven't been able to do yet as a team. Another point that he might want to stay, he's playing with his older brother. Giannis has four brothers, two in the NBA, one in the NFL, and one that's playing in college right now. So he's playing with one of his older brothers. So if he cares about continuing to form that relationship with family, even though his brother isn't doing a whole lot to help the team. Who knows, that could change in a couple of years. He's only 28 himself, so we'll see. One last point was that he promised that he would stay in Milwaukee to see the process through and win a championship with this team. Hopefully he's a man of his word, and like I said, if they can make a contract work out for him, I foresee no issue with him wanting to stay. He clearly enjoys where he is. He just, he's at the next point of his career. He's an NBA All-Star. He's an MVP. He was named Most Improved Player. He's on the all-defense team. His next stepping stone is a championship and being recognized for that kind of greatness. So with that, now let's look at some reasons as to why he might not want to stay. One of the things that could be is after his contract is over, he's set to make a bunch of money. Now, not to say he's not worth it, because he is, but how the Bucks have their contract set up so far, Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton, who are the two guys who I named before that are part of his solid core, they're making good money themselves. Chris Middleton's making about $33 million a year, and Eric Bledsoe is making about $17 million a year. That's $50 million per year on your books that you have devoted to two guys. And you have Giannis, who's worth much more than both, could probably be looking in the range of $38 to $40 million a year because he's worth it. Now, when you have three guys that are almost totaling 85 to 90 mil, that doesn't leave you with a lot of money to build a team around them. So you can have three guys that are fantastic. Last time I checked, you still need five guys on the court at one time. So that could play into it. So with that being said, Milwaukee's option, if they are trying to offer Giannis this big sum of money that he deserves, their salary cap space is going to become very minimal, and they would have to try to draft incredibly well to pick up some complementary players that can help Giannis, Chris, and Bledsoe to help this team win a championship while paying guys that you're drafting pennies on the dollar, essentially, comparatively to what these three guys are making. It's very difficult to do, and it gives you a small window because those NBA contracts for draft picks, they're 3 to 4 years. So if he signs a big deal, they're not going to have a lot of money to throw on to try to build a winning team. But I don't know. I believe that he will stay. He doesn't seem like a guy that's worried about money or worried about chasing that big dollar. The Bucks will probably offer him the big dollar because, like I said, he deserves it. But he's not. I don't believe he's interested in just chasing the biggest payday. He wants to try to win with the team that drafted him, gave him a chance, allowed him to develop and become the Greek freak that he is today. So before I end this video, I want to discuss how my week 1 picks in the NFL went, as well as giving my predictions for week 2. So my week 1 results, they weren't the best, but they also weren't terrible. I mean, when you go by the percentage, it's not going to be, it's not a friendly percentage, but I think I did okay. So I got 11 correct out of 16, only had 5 wrong. I think almost everybody should have had 3 wrong based on the upsets that were there. So I don't think it was too bad of a first week. But when you, like I said, when you go to the percentage, it says that I got a 68.75% correct ratio, which, when you go by that, it's just, that's an F or a D in school standards. Anyway, I'm going to go right into my week 2 picks. So we have, starting tonight, the Bengals versus the Browns. I'm picking the Bengals. Giants versus the Bears. I'm picking the Bears. I think a couple more turnovers coming their way from a very pass-happy and inaccurate thrower of Daniel Jones would give the Bears offense some good opportunities there. We have the Rams against the Eagles. I'm taking the Rams. Falcons against the Cowboys. I'm taking the Falcons. They had 3 receivers with over 100 yards receiving each in week 1, and I believe that offense is just potent enough to get past the Cowboys. Panthers versus the Bucks. I'm taking the Panthers. Sorry, Tommy. 49ers versus the Jets. I'm taking the Niners. Broncos versus Steelers. Taking the Steelers. Jaguars versus Titans. Taking the Titans. Lions versus the Packers. Taking the Pack. Bills versus Dolphins. I'm taking the Bills. Vikings versus Colts. I'm going Vikings. Washington versus the Cardinals. Taking the Cardinals. They were a surprise team last week. I think Kyler Murray can continue to play well, especially against Washington. I just don't think they're a very good team, even though they won last week. Still don't think they're a good team. Ravens versus the division winner to lose their first 2 games in Houston. But they had a really tough matchup. They had a Chiefs week 1, now the Ravens. I mean, you're going against the Super Bowl winner and MVP, and then the MVP of the league last year in week 2. So they'll probably going to lose this week, but I think from there they'll have some better matchups that can get them in the win column and get them a shot at that division. All right, next matchup is Chiefs against Chargers, taking the Chiefs. Next one is Patriots versus the Seahawks, taking the Seahawks. And the Monday Nighter, Saints versus the Raiders, I'm taking the Saints. All right, well, that about caps this week's video. Hopefully these picks work out just a little bit better than last week's. And until next time, I'm Kevin Household.